What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Tuesday edition of Burn It Down with Kim Brown. This is the safe space where we set oppression ablaze because we understand that we got a lot of matches. We have a lot of incendiary devices. If we were so inclined, we could actually burn this down and build anew. There are plans already laid out and available for us. We just got to take the initiative and strike that first match and make that one a good one. I'd like to welcome everybody to the program. And gang, I'm deeply sorry if I feel a little bit subdued today. I'm not gonna even front the news about Brewski Lukman. Really kind of fucked me up like all day today, like all day, like seriously all day. It fucked me up. I cried a couple times for Jackie and Brewski, and if I think about it too hard, I might start crying now. Our dear sister Jacqueline Lukman, who tragically just about a year ago, I think this month, gang, lost her husband Abdus suddenly. This past weekend, suddenly lost. Okay, calm down. Lost Brewski, her beloved mastiff. She and Abdus's beloved mastiff. If you go to Jackie Lukman's Twitter page, Lukman Nation, you'll see some really, really, really beautiful videos of Jackie and Brewski down at Ocean City, down at the beach. Brewski looked so happy walking on the beach and being in the water, and you could tell Jackie sounded really happy as well. So I reached out to her. I sent her a text, telling her I'm so sorry about what happened to Brewski and how awful that must be for her. And she responded, and so anyway, guys, just keep Jackie in your prayers, seriously, because that is a lot on one person. We talked about it this morning on the Remix Morning Show on Black Power Media. I mean, your pets are your family members, okay? We are beyond the generations of those who would once say, "Oh, it's just a dog, or it's just a cat, or it's just a ferret, or it's just a bird." No, you bring these animals into your home, you love them, you feed them, you care for them, and you're with them for years and years and years. And anyone who ever watched Lukman Nation or followed Jackie on social media, you could tell how much Brewski meant to Jackie. Brewski meant a lot to Jackie. So we are sending her our deepest and most sincerest condolences for her loss of Brewski Lukman. Brewski Lukman. So thank you all so much for kind of being understanding about why I'm a little, somber, kind of sad. But we have a really good show for you today. So, this is kind of a Cop Saying Shit episode without officially being a Cop Saying Shit episode, because we're going to point to, obviously, a Cop Saying Shit, but Cop Saying Shit in a myriad of ways. On social media, there have been alerts, attention on Twitter, especially if you are in the Boston area. There has been a spate of women on social media coming forward saying that they have been roofied or had their drinks tampered with at very popular spots in and around the Boston area. And the call went out on social media for women and femmes to be guarded about their drinks and to watch their surroundings, watch their space. The police are kind of coming to this a little late, as are the media. So I want us to, this, whatever the fuck this is happening in Boston with motherfuckers randomly trying to roofie people. And mind you, when I say roofie, so far I have not seen any reports specifically of sexual assaults connected to these drugging of drinks at Boston area bars. But some women have had their drinks tampered with, left the bar, gotten into their cars, driven, passed out, had serious accidents connected to these druggings of their drinks. So I want us to talk about and bring this to everybody's attention But let this be yet another example of the ways in which community keeps each other safe. We keep each other safe. The police do not keep us safe. The police do not keep us safe. And speaking of the police not keeping us safe, just 1 week ago, we were hearing the news coming out of Uvalde, Texas. And this past weekend was Memorial Day. And, traditionally, historically in the U.S., Memorial Day is kind of violent. It can be violent depending on where you are. And this past Memorial Day was no exception. But I want us to focus when we talk about Memorial Day madness, because there was some Memorial Day madness happening, as it relates to the police, obviously not preventing violence. There was a number of shootings across the country with, about 10 or a dozen or so people murdered over this Memorial Day weekend. But kicking off the weekend, there was an action up in New York where Chipotle workers went on strike to protest for higher wages, better scheduling conditions, and outright better work environment. And what happened? Do you guys know what happened? The NYPD came and arrested a number of striking workers. And Memorial Day marks a very fucked up but need to know anniversary in the American labor struggle. 85 years ago on Memorial Day in Chicago, striking steel workers got blasted on by Chicago police, right? This is one of the biggest labor massacres in American history. It happened in the 20th century. It's amazing what they teach us and don't teach us in school, right? You see, all the kerfuffle happening in public schools right now has to do with people really not wanting kids to know the actual history of this country. So I want us to take a look back at Memorial Day 1937. And there is footage. There is footage. It wasn't cell phone cameras out there. It was a guy with a very antiquated piece of equipment, but managed to capture the police brutality on film 85 years ago. So I want us to take a look at that. And like I said, there was other Memorial Day madness happening across the country, and we will get into that. Do me a favor, everybody. If you have not already, do me a favor. Could you please like the video? Could you hit a thumbs up on the video? Please, my feelings is hurt. I feel bad. And that's fucked up. I'm not trying to manipulate y'all's emotions. Never mind. I rescind. I rescind what I just said. Don't worry about me. Hit that thumbs up, please. Hit the like on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you have not already. Please follow us places around the internet. Shout out to Northern Witch. Hi, D. I saw you popped your head in here real quick. She is modding for us strong over there on Twitch. Northern Witch. We are on Twitch at BIDWKB. Same handle at Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. On Twitter, we're at BurnItDownKB. And help us get to, what's our fucking next benchmark at Twitter? 2,100 followers. That would be super cute if you guys could help us do that. So thank you so much for all your support, Fire Fam. Shout out to my mods out here, Modern Strong, Latif, Courtney. Let's go. I see y'all. Everybody's in here. Schultzy. Hi, Schultzy. Franny Francais. Big Teal's in the building. Who else is in here? Tyler Hackner. Hi, baby. Afra. Hi, Afra. Hey, sweetie. Shirley. Hi, Shirley. Nat M. Valley Girls. My niece out there in the desert. I think I saw James in here. James Thompson. Yeah, we got a nice squad. Hi, Lucy. Imani in here. Yes. Hey, Imani. Thank you guys so much. Thank you all. Vesper's here too. Yay. Vesper. I'm so glad to see all my folks in here. Hello, babies. All right. So let's get this show started off. Let me pick myself up a little bit here, because we got some serious business to talk about, y'all. Oh, look at y'all. So just ran us some bucks. Oh, Tay, that's so kind. Thank you, Tay. Thank you, Tay. Tay knows the Cash App. It's $BIDWKB. Thank you so much for your support, Tay. Guys, let's start off with Brittney Griner. Brittney Griner. I saw a tweet. And I meant to capture the tweet, but I forgot to capture the tweet, but fret not, because I got the most important part of the story. So it was a tweet from the New York Times sports section, and it said, I'm paraphrasing here, that basically Brittney Griner supporters are deciding to change strategy, right? The strategy of silence around Brittney being so far indefinitely detained in in Russia for over 3 months now, over 100 days. Brittney has been there under allegations that she was smuggling hashish cartridge oil. Fuck out of here. That shit makes me so mad, even to even repeat that shit, because it doesn't sound plausible. I don't believe it. And it's a dumb reason why she's over there. But you know, there's a proxy war happening between Russia and the United States, and Brittney is tall, beautiful, black woman, and queer. So tragically, she checks off a lot of boxes to be utilized as a pawn in this international game of war politics that's happening right now. But since Brittney has been detained in Russia, we have not really heard outwardly from her folks, like from her family, from her wife. We've heard sporadically from representatives of the WNBA and people who are supporting Brittney, but the people closest to her have remained very mum about what's going on with Brittney's situation. Well, that all recently changed as of this week, as of a few days ago. That's why I think the piece in the New York Times, along with this interview from Brittney's wife. Brittney's wife actually spoke out for the first time. Her wife, Sherelle. What is happening in this Cash App? Thank you, Latif. Thank you, Imani. You guys are so kind. Thank y'all so much. Y'all, I see y'all. I see y'all. Make it rain. toss some dollar bills, Auntie Way. My auntie will bend down, bust it. Anyway, let me simmer down. Okay. Thank you guys so much for your support. We appreciate that. Brittney's wife, Sherelle, spoke out for the first time. She spoke with Robin Roberts, and shout out to Robin Roberts. I'm pretty sure Robin has come out as a queer woman. Yes. See, I appreciate a black queer woman having a big visible platform where other black queer folks can, I would imagine, feel comfortable going to talk to Robin Roberts, because Robin Roberts is not going to ask them a bunch of dumb, goofy fucking questions about they gay marriage and everything about that. So let's take a look. And I clipped this. We edited this some because I do want you to go to ABC News and actually look at the interview in its entirety. But some of the emotion that Sherelle expressed in missing Brittney, and she talked, I'll say, not candidly. What is going on? You guys are doing the most. I am appreciated. Thank you, Lucy. Oh my gosh, y'all are so awesome. Big time awesome. Thank y'all. That's so generous. Let's take a look at this clip with Robin Roberts speaking with Sherelle Griner, the wife of Brittney Griner, the detained WNBA star who has been in Russia for over 100 days with not a return date in sight. So let's free Brittney Griner now, and let's take a look.
How did you first hear the news, and what was your initial reaction?
So I first heard the news through Brittney, actually. She started texting me around 2 a.m. that morning. Babe, wake up. They have me in this room. I don't know what's going on. And so I instantly text back, who are they and what room? And she's like, the customs people, they just grabbed me when I was going through and they have me in this room. She sent me a message and said they're about to take my phone, don't text anymore. So I'm like, just call me when you can, you know? And so that was it.
How long did it take for you to have communication with her again after that?
We're 96 days? And the phone call never came.
But you have been able to communicate through letters?
Sporadically, you know, here and there. I'm grateful for even that.
On February 17th, video released by Russian authorities appears to show Griner going through airport security near Moscow, an employee removing a package from the 31-year-old athlete's bag. Russian state media reporting vape cartridges containing hashish oil were found, an offense punishable by up to 10 years in prison.
I know that you want to speak with President Biden.
Absolutely. I just keep hearing that he has the power. She's a political pawn. So if they're holding her because they want you to do something, then I want you to do it.
And I know that Secretary Blinken has reached out to you and has communicated to you that top priority. Do you feel that's the case?
I don't know. I was grateful for the call. You say she's top priority, but I want to see it. And I feel like to see it would be me seeing BG on U.S. soil. At this point, I don't even know who I'm getting back when she comes back.
Has it been comforting to see all the WNBA courts with BG 42?
Yes, but I think more specifically, it comforts BG. It lets her know she's not forgotten. And like, obviously, you know, when you're sitting over there in your country, they haven't come to your rescue yet. I know that it makes her feel good because she doesn't want to be forgotten.
We are not going to forget Brittney Griner, not while Brittany is still in Moscow, detained, away from her family, away from her spouse. Thank you, Lady K. Mosley, for your super chat. Thank you, Afra, for your Cash App support. We appreciate that, guys. Thank you so much. Yeah, this is my first time hearing from Sherelle. And she was tugging at my heartstrings, right? I mean, can you imagine your partner texting you frantically in the middle of the night, like, nigga, wake your ass up, like the shit is going down right now. I don't know what's happening, but I need you to look at this text, but then don't text me no more, because of the shit. Thank you, Cheryl. Look at y'all. I don't know what to say. Thank you so much for your Cash App support there, Cheryl. Thank you so much for that. Brittany, first of all, I don't believe nothing coming out of the Biden administration, so let's start there. We talked about this on Black Power Media, though, because it sounds as though the Russians are open to trade Brittany for a high-level prisoner, Russian prisoner here in the U.S., whom Jackie and I think, talked about on the Remix Morning Show. His name is Victor Boot. Victor Boot. The subject of the Nicolas Cage movie, I think it was called The Merchant of Death. Victor Boot was an arms dealer. And I mentioned this on Black Power Media. Victor Boot used to listen to the Kim Brown show when he was being held at Rikers about a decade ago before they sent him out to the Supermax junk in Colorado. Victor Boot, unprompted, said that he used to listen to my show. So shout out to Victor Boot. But anyway, that's who Russia is like, no, we will be happy to provide Brittney Griner for us. Just give us Victor Boot, right? And one way and another, Victor Boot's coming out of this American prison, right? I can't see how this proxy war struggle gets protracted between the U.S. and the Russian Federation. And Victor Boot is not in this equation somehow. So I think that I hope, actually, that is something that we need to be doing. We need to be pressuring the Biden administration to free Victor Boot so Russia can free Brittney Griner. Okay. I am not 100%, and nor was Russia, by the way, convinced of the charges against Victor Boot at the time of arms, weapons running. And maybe he was running arms, but maybe he was running arms to forces down in Colombia, down in other countries in the global South, to fight off America. So, and that's probably exactly why Victor Boot is locked up, because he was supplying arms against American forces in other countries, which, you know, in principle is really some shit we can get behind, right? So I think in order to free Brittney Griner, we have to free Victor Boot. So I think that's something that we need to get with. Schultze 100, come on through, baby. Thank you so much for that, Schultze. Schultze says, best news on the interweb. Let's go. Best newscaster too. That's so kind. So kind of you, Schultze. So kind of you to say. Thank you so much for your support. Are you guys okay with that? Are y'all okay with America offering up Victor Boot so Brittney can come home? Yes, I think the eyes have it. we are in agreement. Free Victor Boot in order to free Brittney Griner. But yes, I am very encouraged to see this shift in strategy, shift in direction from Brittney's people. Because again, when it comes to being a Black woman, queer, gay, married, there's no point of being quiet. There's no point of being quiet. Oh, the State Department's working on it. Antony Blinken. Fuck the State Department. Fuck Antony Blinken. Black women get loud. Black people get loud. Bring this woman home, back to her family. She needs to be there. Who just ran us some bucks? Somebody else just ran us some bucks. Thank you so much. Oh, Noli D. Thank you, Noli D. That's so kind. Y'all must be feeling generous. That full moon, that new moon the other morning must have hit y'all in a friendly spot. I'm very grateful and appreciative to the moon and to you all for responding in the correct celestial way. Let the stars dictate. Thank you guys so much for supporting the channel. So anyway, free Victor Boot in order to free Brittney Griner. And shout out to Brittney's people for starting to publicly have more conversations and talk to the press and be very upfront about what it means to them to be without Brittney for this long and what it means to them to communicate whatever Brittney's state of mind must be right now. You heard Sherelle just say, she said, I don't know who I'm even getting back. Yeah, we at the end of the day, we don't know the conditions in which Brittney is being held or how well or poorly she's being treated. We can hope and wish and pray, but until she is safely back here, and I say safely in quotation marks because America is generally, not safe. I don't see how, Russia's probably as safe, maybe safer than the U.S. But anyway, we need Brittney back home. She is safe when she is with her people, and that is where her people want her to be. Thank you guys so much. Let's take a quick little pause, piznaws for the kiznaws. Go on and hit that thumbs up, smash that like. You see my mods in here, Modern Strong, Latif, Courtney. They got all the good directions for you. So just follow Latif and Courtney, and they will not steer you in the wrong direction. Thank you all so much again for tuning in. And listen, we know that since we have switched this time from 5 to 7, some of y'all was a little slow. So it took some of y'all a few weeks to figure that shit out. And that's cool. Because I worked in broadcasting a long time. I understand how programming works. It takes people some time to get acclimated to change. But for everyone who has found us again live at 7 o'clock, we are deeply appreciative. We love to see our people live in the chat, and that is my favorite way to do Burn It Down with Kim Brown. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe on the vid. So the next place that we're gonna go here, let's go to Boston, y'all, because some shit has been kicking off in Boston, and I am concerned for women and femmes, really anybody. I mean, I guess, do they roofie guys? Do guys get roofied? Is that a silly question? I'm sure men get roofied, but are straight women roofying men for sex? I mean, maybe to rob them, which ain't better. I'm not saying that is an acceptable alternative to just roofie a man to rob him. No, but I mean, let me just shut up, because I guess everybody gets roofied, I suppose. But to the extent and for what motivations people get roofied can certainly vary. But we can certainly agree that when women are roofied, it's not usually to rob them. It is to rape them, yeah? And there has been a spate of women discovering that they have been drugged whilst out and about partying and socializing in metropolitan Boston. Is it because it's Boston? Am I saying Boston? Subconsciously, Boston. Anyway, Boston. Oh, and shout out to Quaker activists and math activists. The story I did on Friday about the boys' Latin school, where the student of color posted a poem about how the white people in West Roxbury treat them. I shouted y'all out to say that we need math activists and Quaker anarchists to collect them crackers in West Roxbury. But when I went back and watched the show later, I'm like, it kind of came out fucked up. And that's not how I intended it or meant it. So let me clear that up, because Quaker socialists and math activists know that I fucks with them. But I don't fuck with this, which is going on in Boston. If you could pop up B1 for me, Tunde. So this is a tweet that that is doing numbers, went viral, so to speak. And it says, my girl was roofied, blacked out while driving, got into a bad car accident, and had to have major surgery on both legs. They found fentanyl in her system. She was at the W, I'm assuming she means that's the W Hotel in Boston. If we could pop up B2 there, Tunde. There has been an increase in drink manipulation and roofies in Boston. If you're out on the town drinking, Here are some places people have reported experienced being roofied. Be careful. And let me run down this list because I have it on my phone. So this list that Twitter poster at Igor's daughter, IGORSDAUGHTER, posted as the current list right now. So Mariel, which is in the financial district, 21st Amendment in Beacon Hill, Lookout Rooftop, which is in Seaport, The Landing near the aquarium, Scholars, which is in downtown, Longboards out in Salem, Embargo in Hyannis and out on the Cape, 19th Hole in Hyannis, and Capo in South Boston, and additionally, Game On at Fenway, Royale in the Chinatown area, the Grand near Seaport, Village Tavern in Salem, House of Blues. They've been roofing broads at the House of Blues. Motherfuckers can't get no peace. You can't even go see the show in peace. The House of Blues at Fenway and Water Club in Quincy. And there are more. Please, I encourage you guys to look on social media, particularly if you're in the Boston area or if you got people in and around the Boston area. This is a very serious thing. There is only, again, anyone trying to put any sort of substance in your drink does not have good intentions for you. In fact, they actually mean you harm. And the news decided to report upon this because it was getting so much chatter on social media, which is why I can appreciate the power in which people-driven information like social media can have when it's accurate and done affirmatively in a way to help people out of, situations that the police and or media may outwardly ignore to begin with. So this clip that we're going to see is from WCVB television, and they're putting out the call that Boston police have finally become hip to this situation, to this trend of spiked drinks at Boston area drinking spots and venues. So let's take a look at this.
The state has undercover officers trying to catch people in the act, but in the meantime, police want you to keep your guard up too. You can't see them, smell them, or taste them, but if someone slips one of these drugs into your drink, you'll know.
You're very aware of everything that's going on, but you can't speak for yourself. You don't feel like you can walk.
This young woman told us she was roofied back in college. She and her friends can't believe this disturbing crime is making a comeback.
My cousin's visiting Boston, and her own mom, my Aunt Patricia, said, Shannon, please be careful. There's a resurgence of roofies in Boston.
Boston police are warning people to watch out for them and to call 911 if you or a friend is targeted. Roofie comes from the word Rohypnol, sold in some countries as a sleeping pill. This drug is illegal in the U.S. because it can cause a person to become extremely drowsy, disoriented, confused, and even to black out. Boston police putting out the warning after growing reports on social media about drink spiking. But 5 Investigates gave us a heads up earlier this month. Kathy Curran citing the increase in reports of drugging in Massachusetts bars. One report showed a young woman found unconscious on a bench, another not sure if she'd been assaulted. Boston police are urging people going to bars to use a buddy system with their friends, to watch your drink at all times, never leave it unattended, to keep your drink covered when you're not looking at it. You can even buy test strips that help you detect drugs, and get help immediately if you begin to feel dizzy, nauseated, or strange in any way. And of course, report the incident to 911. The Boston Licensing Board saying that bars should create security plans, maintain surveillance cameras, and also post information reminding customers how to keep themselves safe. We're live in Boston tonight. I'm Mary Saladin, WCVB News Center 5.
There's a lot there that makes me angry and it grinds my gears. Number one, the obvious. Rape culture, very common, very prevalent, very normal in American society. Yes. And here's how you know how rape culture is normalized. Because the advice that the news people, the friendly news presenter, the advice that the news presenter gave coming from police is that women need to have a buddy system. And you got to watch your drink at all times. Cover your drink. Go buy test strips to test your drink, right? To make sure that some fucking rapey asshole has not drugged you with fentanyl, and God knows what happens after that. Here's my question. You know who else is probably using the buddy system? The fucking rapists. You ever think about that? You ever think that these rapists probably rove in pairs, in groups even? And how come the advice is always for the women? Where is the security plan? What to do if you catch a motherfucker spiking your drink? What do you do? Do you pull out your phone, take a picture, run a video, go tell security? Like, where is that advice? Like, if I catch the asshole trying to give me fentanyl in my goddamn amaretto sour, what do I do then? I tell my buddy, I tell my buddy to take out their test strips and test the drink. You understand? Like, it's all the smoke for women. It's all the advice for women. What women need to do to keep ourselves safe. Where is the advice to tell the rapey motherfuckers, hey, maybe don't rape. Maybe do not procure drugs for the purpose of trying to render someone unconscious so you can sexually assault them. Like, where is that fucking advice? I hate it here so goddamn fucking bad. And I hate it for your children. I especially hate it for your daughters, because the onus is on women. Women have to keep yourself safe. Women have to keep yourself safe. How come no one is collecting these fucking rapey ass boys / young adults / men and trying to interrogate? Can we dig down to the root cause? What is the reason? What is the foundational need that you have to want to take advantage of somebody when they are physically unable to consent? Like, what is it? What is going on inside in your head that's the way that you want to bust a nut? Like, why does that physically excite you? Why are you sexually excited by trying to have sex with an unconscious person? Or even worse, the stories, again, anecdotal as they may be, I believe them. When the sis on Twitter said that her friend was roofied, got in her car, and blacked out behind the wheel. You can kill people with this shit, man. You can kill people with this shit. And do you know what the police have suggested for what to do if you catch a motherfucker trying to roofie your drink? Not a fucking thing. Nothing. Because that's where the personal responsibility comes back in, right? You, lady, femme, are non-binary. You are personally responsible for a motherfucker trying to rape you, right? We never get down to brass tacks as to what is this compulsory need to rape. And I doubt if this is a one-off thing, meaning that I doubt it is a singular man going to all these places, dropping roofies and all these chicks' drinks. No, there is a crew or a number of crews, and perhaps maybe not even the whole crew. And I think I'm being generous here by even saying crew, but groups of friends, fraternity members, co-workers, professional association, again, because I know, okay, I know who abusers and rapers are, okay? And they are oftentimes not the people that you think that they would be, right? It's not the fucking weirdo in the trench coat trying to, out the bushes. No, the rapers are the so-called good guys. They're the good guys. They're the good guys with good jobs, who drive nice cars, good to their children. I know who the rapers are. I know who the abusers are. Know them too well. I know them. But anyway, that's I can't say that's not neither here nor there, because it is absolutely here and there. So let's try to flip this advice a little bit if we can. Okay, what are the ways that we can empower women and femmes that if they suspect or if they even outright witness their drink being spiked? I'm sorry, I think you got to start surveilling people in real time, or you have to make very forceful demands upon bar management or restaurant management / security. If you suspect something happened to your drink and there is CCTV surveillance cameras available, motherfucker, you got to come up off that. I need to see that right here, right now. You got to show me that, because this person needs to be identified as the predator that they are. Okay. There has to be more to this equation than ladies operate in the buddy system and watch for your drinks. Where's the fucking other half of this advice? Where is the suggestions and the warnings going out to the rapists that, hey, this is punishable by 7 to 10 years in jail? Okay, I don't know what the rules or, pardon me, the laws are in Massachusetts for drugging someone. I hope it's a felony. Okay, where's that advice going out over the news? Did you know that drugging people in the state of Massachusetts is a D felony, punishable by 2 years in jail and $1,000 fine? Where the fuck is that advice? Make me so goddamn mad. Anyway, Boston. Boston, be on your P's and Q's. And ladies and femmes especially, weapons. Take that poker out with you. Carry my, no, you carry my poker face. I will poke you in the kidneys. Listen, take your weapons with you. Be ready to defend yourself. And I'm sorry that that's the advice that I have. But the other side of that is document. You catch a motherfucker you even suspect, make that nigga famous, make that motherfucker internet famous, put him out there, jump him all the way out there. So anyway, that is happening in Boston, and I would imagine that is happening around the country in some form or fashion. I hate it here so fucking bad. Anyway, guys, take a little pause for the cause, take a break. Hit that thumbs up on that video. Thank you so much. We are creeping up a little bit incrementally in our subscribers. So I want to thank everyone who has subscribed to the channel. If you've not yet subscribed to Burn It Down with Kim Brown, don't be a hater. don't be out here just being a hater. If you come through and you like what we do, come through and like what we do. And that's okay. You can tell people that you like it over here. You know what I'm saying? I know I got a bad reputation. Yes, I cuss too much. Oh my God, so profane, so crass. Oh, did you know she hates men? Yes. All the things. Come on over here. We still got a spot for you. Make no mistake about it. So gang, this past weekend obviously was a holiday weekend here in the States. Shout out to Damien Stoner Loner. Damien, I saw you in the chat say that, don't you apologize for being drunk, Damien. It's okay, Damien. Cannabis, Damien, cannabis. Get off that liquor. Get on that tree. Get on that leaf. That's where you need to be. Come on over here with us, with the rest of the stoners, the potheads. We always have space for one more. Damien. Get off that liquor. Come on and be a weed head with the rest of us. So anyway, it was Memorial Day weekend, and Memorial Day is a really kind of an interesting weekend in the United States for a lot of reasons, because for the basic fact that no one knows, when I say no one, I mean most Americans. I know we got a bunch of smart Alex in this space. People in here know things, which is great, but most of America does not know things, and most people have no idea what the origins of Memorial Days are. They assume it's sort of tied in with, I guess, Veterans Day, and it is and it ain't. You know, Memorial Day started from freed Africans, formerly enslaved Africans, who were memorializing the fallen, either fallen formerly enslaved people who were fighting on behalf of freedom, or and Union soldiers who also was fighting to do something. I don't know what they was doing. they did something, I guess. So Memorial Day has very Black origins, exclusively Black origins. And of course, you know, mainstream whites usurped it, and now it's cookout and all the things. And then that's cool, whatever. Shout out to Infinite Content. Hold on. Infinite Content ran us $1. Infinite Content says, hey, Kim, I remember a few years back, some women designed a straw that could test if someone slipped them a Mickey in your drink. That possibly is still on the market, Infinite Content. And, you know, maybe we should look into that, because, oh, my God, I got to be a mobile forensics lab while I'm trying to go out and check my ass for a few minutes. You understand? Like, it's so exhausting being a woman, guys. I know we have very sensitive and understanding men here who don't need that explained to him, but just let us vent for a second. It's so goddamn exhausting being a woman. You understand that Women are literally having to protect our pussy from the time that we can walk to the time that we are in wheelchairs. Like there is some rapey dickhead scheming on your vagina for literally the duration of your entire life, your whole life, your whole life. You get tired. you get tired of having to protect yourself. Women, you have to protect yourself out here. Well, fuck. I've been having to protect myself since I could walk. God damn. What do men have to protect themselves from what? Getting beat up from robberies? I would rather get beat up than rape. I assure you that. But anyway, I'm sorry. Let me collect myself. Everyone I know thinks I cuss too much. Well, Dawn, I disagree. I say Dawn does not cuss enough. Donnie does not cuss enough. Dawn, I think you are probably being very nice to people. Too nice to people out here, Dawn. I think you need to cuss them more. But okay, let me circle back here. So Memorial Day, Memorial Day, origins black as shit, and Memorial Day is usually a weekend for people to get a Monday off at minimum, and to cook out and barbecue, et cetera, et cetera. But tragically, Memorial Day is usually very violent in America, like consistently. I'm not sure if I can recall hearing of any shootings and or murders in DC over the weekend, but then again, I was sparingly watching the news. But it went down in Baltimore, it went down in Philly this weekend, went down in Chicago this weekend. People died. And but Memorial Day, conversely, actually, I'm probably going to jump this around a little bit here, Tunde. Let me go there for a second, because I want to talk about the violence problem in the United States. Uvalde has done an amazing job of highlighting, illuminating a lot of awful things that we already knew about police, the role that they really play in public safety, relative especially to the amount of funding and budgets that they consume. But violence happens in the U.S. all the time, gun violence in particular, and Memorial Day most specifically. So in Baltimore City, we're going to cue up C5 there, Tunde. In Baltimore City over the weekend, there was a shooting down at the Inner Harbor, which is Baltimore's probably most well-known tourist spot. You've seen the harbor. Even if you've never been to Baltimore, you've seen the pictures of the harbor. The National Aquarium is there. Maryland Science Center is there, and it's a destination spot, truly. If you were ever coming to visit Baltimore, most people want to go to the harbor. And in Baltimore City, there are very few spaces for teenagers and young people in Baltimore to kind of gather about, where there's, places that you can go eat and patronize, right? Those venues are not widespread found throughout the city. They're really concentrated downtown. And this weekend, two 17-year-olds were shot and one of them actually died. And because summertime in Baltimore City is known to be violent and there's usually a significant amount of murders, the leadership in Baltimore has these events, these keep the peace in the streets events. Yeah. Okay. I mean, that's cool. It's cool. But Mayor Brandon Scott, whom, if you guys don't know who Brandon Scott is, I think he's actually the youngest mayor ever elected in the city of Baltimore. Young guy. He used to be on the Baltimore City Council, and a progressive at that when he was on the city council. I think people really had high expectations of Brandon Scott when he was first elected. But Brandon Scott has gotten into office, and he's kind of turned into Stephanie Rawlings Blake. I mean, in a way, Stephanie Rawlings Blake, by the way, is who was mayor when Freddie Gray was murdered by Baltimore police, and who got on national television and called the children of her city thugs. So there's that. And so Brandon Scott has been doing the respectability shuffle. I mean, the truffle shuffle. What was that in the Goonies with my man Chunk? the chunk shuffle. I'm not gonna pull up my shirt. I will pull up my shirt and shake my belly for y'all and do the truffle shuffle, do the chunk shuffle. But Brandon Scott has been doing the respectability shuffle, and god damn it, you really hate to see it. So after the kickoff event for Keep the Peace in the Streets in Baltimore this summer, blah, 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 he was interviewed by a Fox 45 reporter by the name of Mackenzie Scott. Now, Fox 45 in Baltimore is a Sinclair broadcasting station. They have a decidedly conservative bend. And if you watch Channel 45 news about Baltimore, you would literally think the city is on fire 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, that there are constantly bullets flying in Baltimore. Like, Channel 45 is gloom and doom. It is very anti-Black, very right-wing, like I said, a very conservative slant to the way they approach the news. So it was interesting to see this respectability outlet pose questions to this nouveau respectability politician, and they're kind of trying to out-respectability each other. But I want us to listen to Brandon Scott right here give a really reprehensible answer to Mackenzie Frost from Fox 45 regarding the gun violence in the city. Let's take a listen.
Do you think that your administration can have a summer of peace given what we've seen in the track record so far?
I think that that's a ridiculous question. I think that your station in particular has to understand that this is not a hashtag. And what we're understanding is that we're going to work every day to make sure that violence does not happen wherever we can prevent it. But we ultimately also have to understand personal responsibility. Where's the personal responsibility? When are we going to also call on people to check on what's going on with their young people, to make sure that they know what their young people are into? When are we going to have a conversation about how everybody, including your station, can play a part in reducing violence instead of spreading this hatred, spreading this violence, spreading these hashtags, spreading all the nonsense that we see?
Okay. Okay. Personal responsibility. Okay, Mr. Mayor, let's go there. If you could pop up C6 for me, Tunde. What we talked about briefly this morning on Black Power Media, guys, personal responsibility. Let's go there. So, how come Baltimore City schools, about 30 of them, had to close early because the schools didn't have proper air conditioning? I said it because the schools didn't have proper air conditioning on May 31st. How come there is a list put out by Marilyn Mosby's office, the Maryland State's Attorney, Baltimore State's Attorney's office, with the numbers of what, 100? Many dozens of current and former Baltimore police officers who are untrustworthy to the point that they cannot be called on to testify in court because they have been so openly, brazenly lying under oath and in depositions and on arrest reports. Like, it's really rich for the elected official, the highest ranking elected official in a city specifically as Baltimore, to get up there and finger wag. And what's up with the personal responsibility? Sir, what is up with the personal responsibility of your police force? Why is it that your city council keeps authorizing $500 million budgets for police and failing to install and properly maintain working air conditioning, HVAC units in Baltimore public schools? This story about Baltimore City schools closing early, either closing early or not opening on very hot days, it's the Groundhog Day story. It happens every single change of season. Watch it. When it gets to be wintertime, you're going to hear about schools closing early because their classrooms lacked heat, okay? This is a story that comes out every single year in Maryland, in Baltimore, and it does not usually go beyond the alert, the list of the schools. So there is no responsibility there. These kids are out there acting out in violent ways as a response to poverty, first and foremost, as a response to the violence that they have already been experiencing, as a response to the outright apathy that city leaders have for them, to the point that you won't even fund their schools to the extent that they can remain in their classrooms when the temperature changes. Like, that is something that I went to school in Howard County. You think nigga, the air better be on. I mean, that was some shit. never even crossed my mind. Would the air be on in school? Like, why wouldn't the air be on, right? And that's my question to Brandon Scott. Why isn't the air on the schools? Isn't that your responsibility, Mr. Mayor? How come your cops are still out here fucking up people, Mr. Mayor? How come you're out here congratulating your police officers after they murdered Donnell Rochester in cold blood and refuse to render him aid? And Brandon Scott's going to come around after that and say that the cops did a great job. Like, where is the responsibility? Don't lecture these children about personal responsibility. Don't lecture the parents about personal responsibility. The leadership begins at the top. And if you want to see a better outcome out of the residents of your city, then you need to come up with better results yourself there, Mr. Mayor. Your school needs better results. Your police force needs better results. Your Parks and Recreation and Department of Public Health need better funding, Mr. Mayor. You giving all the money to the fucking cops. Why? Because the cops apparently have every single Baltimore mayor over a barrel. Never fails. Never fails. So that was part of the Memorial Day madness, the violence that is really like clockwork. I mean, you can schedule shit to it, right? Every major 3-day weekend holiday in the U.S., especially if it's hot outside, if it's Memorial Day, 4th of July, Labor Day, it's going to be Bucktown in a city near you. They will be bussing and somebody's getting murdered. And nobody got any good solutions in order to stop that except for to shame people for the conditions in which they are in. But getting back to the police here for a moment, talking about Memorial Day. And as I mentioned off the top, Chipotle workers in New York last week have been organizing actions throughout the city. They had a rally in Harlem on Thursday, followed by a march through Midtown down 6th Avenue Thursday as well. If you could pop up C1 there, Tunde, and it's really short. You could even use it as B-roll. This short clip came from the workers' rights. Actually, let's listen to it, because what you're going to hear is you're going to see the workers, obviously, cool. The workers are striking. And when we cut to it, like I said, it's pretty brief. It's only like 10 or 13 seconds long. You're going to hear the calls in the back by New York Police Department to disperse, right? To disperse, because peacefully protesting in public is not a given nor a guaranteed right, apparently, in the Big Apple, because NYPD acts as though that shit is Nazi fucking Germany, dog. They will come collect motherfuckers up out of there for utilizing and exercising their free speech rights in a second. So let's take a quick listen to this clip from the workers' rights. Okay, so there is that. And at your convenience, let's see here. So if you could pop up C1 there, Tunde. So this was a piece that was in the Gothamist about what the Chipotle workers' demands are and what they're demanding. They're demanding $20 an hour minimum wage at Chipotle. They are also demanding that they get upgraded to full-time worker status. What some workers who have been longtime workers of Chipotle, like a year, 2 years and longer, say that they will randomly have their hours cut for seemingly no reason. Like they'll be accustomed to having a certain number of hours throughout a week or throughout a certain period, and then out of nowhere their hours will get cut for no reason. When they try to ascend to being full-time workers, they are rebuffed by management. But in the meantime, Chipotle continues to hire more part-time workers in order to cover shifts. So it's not like Chipotle ain't got the money. What it is Chipotle is just trying to keep people permanently part-time, not wanting to pay them, and making their conditions generally more difficult. And the other aspect about this, so while the Chipotle workers in New York have not formally organized to form a union, they have been working with 32BJ SEIU, which organizes workers, food service workers, and other kinds of workers up and down the East Coast. So shout out to 32BJ SEIU for supporting these Chipotle workers. Also, the Fast Food Workers Union, who has been supporting them. And again, they are not unionizing as of right now, but they possibly intend to. I wanted to read you guys a quote from a worker from this Gothamist piece. Her name is Autumn Segarra. Autumn Segarra is 19, and she said that she was suddenly fired after calling in sick after 5 months on the job. The layoff has sent her reeling as her mother and stepfather rely on her to help pay the family's utility and phone bills. Leading up to her layoff, her manager had cut her hours back to only 2 days. And Autumn is quoted in this piece as saying, quote, "They don't define us by anything else but numbers," she said, describing the employee code workers use to clock in and out. Quote, "If I was still working in Chipotle," which, by the way, she was laid off / fired. "If I was still working in Chipotle, I would have been on strike. I'm not fighting for myself. I'm fighting for Chipotle workers as a whole." And I want you guys to actually take a look. If you could pop up C3 for me, Tunde. The woman whose quote I just read, former Chipotle worker, fired Chipotle worker, Autumn Segarra, was arrested. Okay, she was arrested. As you see, police escorting her in cuffs away from the scene. And she and a number of other workers, I think the number that I saw was 11, but don't quote me on that. But at least one, for sure. You see Autumn there in the cuffs. And I don't think Autumn was the only one. I think they almost got about a dozen Chipotle workers arrested there. And that is a point that always needs to be said and underscored, gang, that police are not workers. Police never side on the side of working people. Police are there to guard and protect the powerful and protect the capital and to protect property and to protect property. So as these, I hope, calls for abolishing the police and the compromise, defund the police, as these calls, I hope, continue to increasingly get louder, especially in the horrific wake of what happened in Uvalde, that people remember that cops are not us. They are not us. They are not workers. They do not fit under the banner or under the umbrella of working class. They are a separate class. They are protectors and guardians of capital, property, and the powerful. And that was on display in New York, as we saw, and with the Chipotle workers. But as it pertains to Memorial Day, 85 years ago in 1937, one of the most horrific labor massacres in American history occurred on Chicago's South Side. And it happened when striking steel workers decided to organize on Memorial Day in front of the steel plant, and police were summoned by the plant owners to come and collect these fucking workers who is fucking up their money and fucking up their shit. But the problem is the police came out there blaming. And not only did they come out there blaming, they came out there killing. And this is something that is important that I think that we remember, note, learn if you previously did not know it, as I previously did not know it. And again, some of these things, you hear them and it's like, oh, okay, yes, I hear that thing happened in 1937. Do I commit it to long-term memory? More than likely, no. But when they come across my palette and my path, it's something that I think we need to take note. And I found it interesting, so I figured that you guys might as well. So we're about to see two clips here. The first clip is something that I found on YouTube from the Media Burn Archive. Yes, the Media Burn Archive. And what that is going to, no. Yes. Okay, that's the second clip. I'm sorry. The second clip is from the Media Burn Archive. The first clip is from a YouTube channel called Rugged Out Technicians. But what they found was a interview from the Illinois Labor Historical Society. And there wasn't even a date on this interview, but from the way it looked, I'm going to assume the 70s. It looked like late 60s, early to mid 70s. I couldn't be 100% certain, but it's old. It's older than all of us, probably. Well, most of us, not all of us. But regardless, what you're going to hear is from the first clip you're going to hear from an organizer who was there that day. And what the organizer is going to do is literally give the narration over this footage. They actually have footage from that day in 1937. And I will warn you guys, I mean, it is graphic. I mean, the shit is not shot in 4D, right? It ain't in 4K HD. But if you look and pay attention, you can tell that the cops are outrageously committing acts of brutality and violence against these striking workers. So the person is going to narrate, and then the second clip we're going to hear is another sort of recollection, a retelling from somebody who was there that day in 1937. And again, these interviews themselves are very old. So anyway, this is some historical shit that I think that we need to be aware of. The Memorial Day Massacre in Chicago, 85 years ago, guys. Police killed, murdered, striking workers. And let that be a reminder that that is how police will engage with us even in 2022 if we allow it. So let's take a look at these two clips, please.
I was there that day because of my duties as an organizer for the Steelworkers Organizing Committee and my relationship as assistant to Nick Fontecchio, the field director, who was the principal speaker at the Sam's Place preliminary to the march across the field by the pickets. What you're now seeing is the Chicago Uniformed Police preparing to meet and confront the strikers who will be marching across the field from Sam's Place, where they are holding a mass meeting. This is evidently the beginnings of the first group of strikers in the long line of strikers marching across the field, beginning to approach where the police have drawn themselves up in a line formation to block their right to picket in front of the 118th and Burley Avenue Millgate entrance to Republic Steel. I'm sure you observed a number of the police paddy wagons drawn up there. The police were evidently anticipating they were going to be hauling a lot of people away from this area. This is the scene showing the strikers having arrived to confront the police and demand their right to peacefully picket in front of the mill gate. They are arguing with Captains Mooney and Captain Kilroy, explaining to him their right to peacefully picket in front of the mill gate. You can see some of the strikers vigorously arguing with the police. This scene takes place momentarily after a lens change, showing the police firing their guns, clubbing the pickets, shooting tear gas. There was a tear gas bomb streaming through the air. If you look closely, you can see the police with their guns in their hand, some of them firing into the backs of the pickets as they struggle to run away from the police. 7 of the 10 men who were killed on that day were shot in the back. The other 3 were shot in the side as they sought to evade the police and to run backwards in the direction from which they had come. There's Loopy Marshall, a social worker from Hull House, being prodded by a police billy club. Workers are down on the field, having been shot. There were 30 others that were injured by bullet wounds that day, as well as approximately 60 more who were clubbed, and beaten unmercifully.
They're still workers, they're still bosses. The Republic still wanted to break the strike. So they hired Mayor Kelly. They gave him a $10,000 payoff to call out the police and open up fire. And Mayor Kelly's police opened up fire, a shooting volley all over the workers who were on the picket line. And they start dropping dead like flies.
You were there?
I was there with my 2 children in the car. I docked in the car. I was afraid for my children's life. I covered him up with my body. But the fellow Rudy York standing next got killed on the spot. There was about 9 or 11 young workers got killed. They ain't well to see that they killed the young ones because they were the rebels. And about 2 dozen got wounded.
$10,000 payoff.
$10,000 payoff.
More graft money.
More graft money. The police are not good for nothing to the bosses. They're good for something. And they were getting well paid. See? That was the Memorial Day Massacre in Chicago. I was there.
Never forget anybody and everybody. This is what police do. This has historically been their role. The only thing missing there was niggas. It would have been a perfect day to police to shoot striking workers. And if they'd have been Negro and or indigenous or just non-white, oh man, would have been an awesome day for the cops down there in Southside Chicago. But no, truthfully, and with all seriousness, please let us remember those who fell that day in 1937 in the Memorial Day Massacre in Chicago by the bullets of police. And police are still murdering people to this day. Similar reasons, maybe not exact, but let them have an opportunity, right? Look at what happened with the water protectors in northern Minnesota with the Enbridge Line 3. The police were out there absolutely at the behest of the wealthy pipeline owners and the international oil company. Like, this is what they do. They don't protect us, right? As was on clear display in Uvalde. They don't protect public safety. They are not here to lay their lives on the line if it involves putting themselves in danger in order to protect and serve the public. That's not what they do. They protect and serve property. They protect and serve capital. They protect and serve the powerful, the wealthy, and all of their interests, So never, and I know I don't have to tell y'all this because we know how we feel about law enforcement around these pots, Fire Fam. But just don't let them ever talk about that cops are workers narrative. You know what I mean? They are not. They always stand against workers and will be used to enact violence against workers who have the audacity to stand up and demand better for themselves and demand better for their coworkers and for their workplaces. The police will be used to be violent, to put down any sort of opposition against the bosses, as was the case there in Chicago. So thank you all so much for rocking with us today. Comrade Kwame, I saw your comment, and yes, the answer is yes. The answer is yes. Thank you so much, Big Teal. Thank you, Anna Hart. Let's call it a show, guys. It's 10 after. Oh, Esther! Oh, Esther just became a patron. Thank you, Esther. Thank you. That's so kind. Welcome, Esther, to the Fire Fam, everybody. Esther is a new patron, so thank you so much. Who is December Cat? Hi, December Cat. Thank you. Is Holly in here? Let's go. Okay, December Cat. I like the shit December Cat is in here chatting about. Let's go. Thank you, Quaker Anarchist, for all your support and everything. Thank you, Anna. Thank you, Courtney. Thank you, Nawadi. Big Teal. James Thompson, come true. Let's call this a show, guys. Thank you all so much. And please do me a favor. Lots of favors. But the main favor I need y'all to do is please just cover Jackie in as much love and support as you're able to give virtually in the YouTube streets, on social media. Send Jackie love, y'all. Send Jackie love. You guys know what Brewski meant to her. And because you guys know what Brewski meant to her, you know how she must be feeling right now. So just cover Jackie in as much love and support, and understanding and love and compassion as you possibly can as she deals with yet another very difficult period, with the sudden loss of a family member. So guys, COVID is out here jumping on people. Was y'all out here kicking it on Memorial Day? I hope not. Not inside anyway. COVID's still out here jumping on people. So please wear your mask indoors. I don't give a fuck if motherfuckers look at you crazy. Put your mask on when you inside in public spaces, y'all. This ain't a game. We are trying to keep long COVID up off of us all. And of course, short fatal COVID up off of us all. Wear your mask, wash your hands, social distance. Monkeypox is out here too. Don't be just dapping up motherfuckers just randomly, okay? Don't be giving out hugs to strangers and shit. Monkeypox is out here too. Do what you got to do to keep yourself safe in the midst of a still ongoing pandemic. On behalf of Tunde and Molly, we thank you guys so much for your ongoing love and support. Thank you so much for all your super chats. Thank you, Esther, for your new patronage. And we will see you guys back here Friday, 7 p.m. I will see you tomorrow on Black Power Media for the Remix Morning Show. See y'all later. Bye-bye.